it's never a bad time to get some good advice, especially if you're working on a New Year's resolution. You want to make sure you can keep it going, or maybe it's not too late to start one.
Yeah.
And today we have some advice coming in the form of our relationship expert, a real relationship coach. Sheena is here. Welcome to the Hudson Show. Welcome back to the Hudson Show, Sheena. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Happy 2025.
Yes. Happy New Year. Now, I know that, there's lots of different New Year's resolutions, but I know that one that is common, especially because New Year, then you've only got like a month and a half until Valentine's Day. There's a lot of people want to get on top of the relationships and want to get, step up their dating game a little bit. So I want to know from you, first of all, in your experience, what is like the top resolution that somebody could have? What is the top advice you would give to just the average person that's ready to start dating a little better in 2025?
Yeah, that's a great question. I love the idea of being a better dater. So not just dating, but how do we do this better? So the big one that I think is great for 2025 is to set a 3-date rule. So a lot of first dates are really awkward, and then we never see them again. We don't call them, and then it just becomes kind of this story that's either funny or awkward. So, so by setting that 3-date rule, you accept that it's supposed to be awkward. Whenever you sit down with somebody for the first time, it's supposed to be awkward. So by accepting that and getting comfortable with it, by setting a 3-date rule, you're really allowing for an opportunity to happen that a lot of us cut off because things didn't go perfectly or just the way we wanted it to. Because to get to really know somebody within a 30-minute time span or even a 2-hour time span is not realistic. So by setting that up, you take a lot of pressure off. The anxiety can go down of, okay, don't have to get this just right, go to the exact right place, say all the right things in this one time. So by doing that, we also really help kind of accept and get comfortable with that awkwardness that is bound to come with dating. So that's huge. My other big one that I would say, though, for 2025 is pledge to date yourself. So if you're just, getting really focused on dating, everybody else, you kind of forget about you.
Right.
And you forget I have to kind of like me and my company. And whenever we're by ourselves, if we don't know what to do, that's kind of a big red flag, and it's going to negatively impact our relationship. So pledge to take yourself out once a month to a fancy dinner, go to a concert, and who knows, maybe you'll find that person while you're out there by yourself, because you're kind of inaccessible and unapproachable if you're in this big group or even with another person. So it's not a bad way to go.
Yes, I love that idea. I think I like dating myself too much.
Well, we know another way that people tend to date, especially in our modern era and in 2025, is by joining the dating apps. That's common during the new year, especially. So what's your advice for people that are jumping on the dating apps and looking to, start a relationship there?
Yeah. So first of all, dating apps are really tough. I think we all know that it's just a really competitive place, and it's really hard to get that attention. So I think if we all just kind of slowed down and took a curious approach rather than a critical one, and really read profiles and, asked myself, what do I like about this person, or what am I seeing that's interesting versus, oh no, their hair color is wrong, or they live 20 minutes away, too far. I think it's just very easy to kind of see a dating app as a game where we're just kind of moving through it as quick as possible. So really slowing down, not playing the swipe-a-thon game where we've gone through 100 profiles in 20 minutes, and set some boundaries of, I'm going to spend this much time on dating apps, and also give yourself some time for real-world interactions as well. So those are big things, but a tool that I would use for people using dating apps is a date diary. And what that is just a short journal of your dating experiences. So if you're kind of recording what went well, what didn't go well, what did I like about this, what did I learn, that really gives us a way to kind of go back and see what's going on here. So if you're noticing, wow, out of the last 10 people I reached out to, only one responded. I just said hi every time. Maybe that's not working. And, having that evidence of what's going on can really give us some insight and help us make intentional choices about this is working, this isn't working. And I think just kind of having that can also be a fun way to kind of go back and see this is what my experience was like in 2025.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. We're here with Sheena, a relationship expert, an actual relationship coach, and so many of us need it sometimes. Sheena, I've got there's a trend that's been going around that I've seen here early in 2025 where maybe people are turning away from the dating apps a little bit and trying a different approach, but still turning to a different app. It's just TikTok this time, where we're seeing people put out boyfriend or girlfriend, or say that they are accepting boyfriend and girlfriend applications on TikTok. They put out like a bunch of requirements, like it's a job application, no short kings or whatever. How do you feel about this approach? If somebody came to you and said, this is what I'm trying, how do you feel about that? And how does it compare to hitting the dating apps?
So I think this is a really fun new way to get creative because so many people are bored of dating apps. They're not finding them to be working. So I think it's really fun, but I think it really depends on who you are, if this is going to work for you. So if you're really extroverted and are great at creating content and you have a great social media following, that'd be, that might work for you. But if you're really introverted and shy and, not tech savvy, that might not be the best way to go. So I think it really just kind of depends on who you are, if that's going to be your kind of route to dating or not. But ultimately, if you're interested in it, I say try it. It can't hurt to kind of, explore your options. So my big thing with dating is that it's just like any other skill. It takes practice. You're not going to just show up and be good at this if you've never really, had any luck with dating. Tom Brady didn't show up to the Super Bowl and just win it one day, right? He had to play countless games, go to countless practices to end up at that point. So dating is the same way. You have to practice. So if getting on TikTok and telling people this is what I want, this is what I don't want, that's great practice to identify this is what's for me and really getting a chance to talk about that and put yourself out there. So my big message for 2025 is practice. You don't have to see every message on a dating app or every date as the big game. This is just practice. So that gives you the opportunity to play, experiment, be curious, and even fail. It's not a failure if you're in practice and you don't do it right. Yeah. So I think just kind of shifting that perspective a little bit takes that pressure off and allows people to really understand this is what I want and to get better at that skill.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Not me, I'm married. But let's do it in 2025. Let's start practicing dating instead of treating it like the end of the world, like life and death.
Right.
I think that's some good advice. Well, Sheena, you're always full of great advice. We're glad to have you here. If you want to find out more about Sheena, it's wellness360coach.com/Sheena-Hanscel. Sheena, thanks for joining the Hudson Show once again.
While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.